treat from one of our Boy Scouts from Browns Chapel. Is the Troop 320, I hope I said that right, Troop, or 329, one of those two. But we're so thankful that they're here.
Scout salute. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Post flags. Yes. Forward march.
Thank you so much. We now have a moment of silence. I ask that you all remember Israel and Ukraine. Thank you. Looking at number 4, the approval of the agenda. Do I have any questions or comments on the agenda? I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. We will now vote. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any to abstain? The agenda is approved. We will now look at the consent agenda. Are there any questions on the consent agenda? There are no questions. I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, no. The consent agenda is now approved. We have had number 6, our Boy Scouts have performed our color guard ceremony, so we will go to number 7, visitors. We have one visitor, Mr. Paul Ingeneri. Am I saying it right? Oh, okay. How do you pronounce your name? Yes, right there. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Engineering.
Say it again.
Engineering.
Engineering.
Ingeneri.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, I gave you a 2-page appeal on my part. Yes?
Yeah, that was emailed to everyone.
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, I got 3 minutes, so
Yes.
are there questions? Or do you want me to outline something that's here?
Just give us a brief overview.
Brief thing, okay. I was denied the master's plus 45. I have a master's plus like 100. My second master's was in divinity. So it was 3 years of classwork and 1 year of internship. It was denied because they have a super group of accreditors that's from CHIA, okay, the Council on Higher Education Accreditation. And my school, it has theological accreditation. CHIA recognizes that theological accreditation and its regional accreditation, and they say all kinds of good things about it, as I mentioned in here, you know, right in line with all their standards and so forth, but they deny it because they have kind of a super group at the top that they do accreditation for their educational groups. I mentioned in there they approve, you know, Christian colleges, same kinds of courses as that I took when I was getting my master's in divinity, and some even where they had to go to a theological school that only has theological accreditation, but I think it all flips in there because of the supergroup of accreditors for that particular Christian college. I have at the bottom, let me see. Tennessee Board of Education says that you can approve this for salary. Okay, so you're able to do it. You're not breaking any rules or laws or anything if you approve this for me. Let's see. It's not an issue of the type of courses I took in seminary. Lipscomb, you know, and all these other approved have the same courses. Not an issue with rigor, number of courses. I way past that. CHIA, again, regionally recognizes my accreditation board, and I am regionally accredited by that particular board. And they say affirms the recognition means that this affirms the standards and processes of this accreditation organization are consistent with the academic quality improvement and accountability expectations that CHIA has established. Okay? Yeah, I don't think that there's an issue except for what has usually been done.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you bringing this to our attention.
Are there any questions? No? Okay.
Thanks. So are there any questions? Okay, thank you. We also have a presentation on Dia Davis. Come up.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Good evening. I am here representing the Tennessee Tiered Support Center. My name is Dia Davis, and I'm the Technical Assistance Team Director. So to give you a little context about us, we are a grant that's funded by the Tennessee Department of Education, and we are supported across the entire state, providing free services on technical assistance and training to any school or school district that would like to receive that. And we have partners at the University of Memphis and the University of Tennessee Knoxville, and I'm representing Vanderbilt in the Middle Tennessee region. We are also a part of this brand new network called the Best for All Central. That's where they're bringing everything together as one hub. And then we are also part of the Technical Assistance Network. They're pulling together all of these different grants to try to provide free assistance to any of the schools and school districts that might need them in these particular areas. So our whole purpose with our center is to try to make sure that we're providing the best that we can to support the whole child, supporting students with their needs in both academics and be it in behavioral or any other needs that go with that. And so for part of our model, in order for it to be profound and make true difference, we have found that we do a model that is more of a cascading model of support, where we really work directly with a district leadership team to ensure that our schools are supported, as well as school staff and as well as students and families, so that they can get what they need to better support the needs of their students, be it academic or behaviorally. And it all goes within this basic belief that we should provide Tier 1 supports to all students, and then that if it's needed, layering in supports such as Tier 2 or Tier 3 as needed for academics or behavior. And then it comes together with these essential components of making sure that each school, each district leadership team across the state has these 4 essential components in place: leadership, assessment, database decision-making, and instruction and intervention. So we've learned that based on research, and the whole reason why we were funded to support school districts in the state is because there is so much research that has shown that there could be adverse long and short-term outcomes for students if we don't intervene early. It has even been shown as early if we don't intervene between K through 3, that can show the long-term effect of such things as poor classroom participation, bullying, negative peer relationships, low levels of school engagement, dropout, diminished economic outcomes as adults, and then potentially those other more distressing things such as substance abuse or suicide. So we know we need to intervene early. And from the research, we've learned that a lot of students that have specific learning disabilities also have other disabilities that exist at the same time. So that we know if we provide both supports, because no child is just all academic all day, and no child is just behavior all day, that if we support both of those things, then we're going to see greater outcomes such as graduation rates and happy adults. So for Rutherford County Schools, you all have chosen to partner with us and have had a fantastic leadership team that has made sure to support this work and made sure that they are coaching and supporting schools in continuing this work. There are 147 school districts in the state of Tennessee, and in the state of Tennessee, only 6 school districts were recognized for their work and being groundbreakers in this area. These are the other school districts that are there too. In order to do this, your district leadership team, and if you'll go to the next slide, has made sure that they've made an exemplary commitment to making sure that the systems A and B are really supported through self-assessing what's really going on in the district and where supports are going. They've been action planning, they've been providing coaching sessions and professional development wherever needed. They've created a district implementation plan where they've really problem solved about data to see where they could support across the district academics and behavior. And then through that, they've done great problem solving, they've made measurable outcomes, and they've identified barriers and found ways to overcome those barriers in supporting schools. So I really want to express to you how wonderful this is and how amazing that Rutherford County Schools has made this effort to support students and to support schools with this work. And I really would like to give a special thank you to Pamela Parker and Dr. Mark Gullion, because they have been critical in their leadership of this work.
I'd just like to mention real quickly, obviously with our district leadership team, we have a lot of members. And Dee and I joke about this all the time, but we started together about 8 or 9 years ago with this partnership, and me and her were the team. And so we've been excited to expand this into our schools. We have administrators, we have counselors, we have our newly behavior interventionists in our schools that are doing some great work around academics and behavior and really tiering that support. So as always, it takes a team approach, so we appreciate receiving this award, but it just highlights all the great work that's happening in our school district. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I'd also like to thank Ms. Parker. So she is a team of one. So she runs behavior support for general ed in our general ed setting, but with all students, and she is a team of one and is in every building all the time. And so thank you for your work, and also Mark, your leadership as well.
We thank you. Number 8, Rutherford Proud.
So Rutherford Proud, we have our National Merit semifinalist. Rutherford County Schools has 9 representatives nominated as semifinalists for the National Merit Scholarship Program. These academically talented high school seniors have an opportunity to continue in the competition for some 7,140 National Merit Scholarships worth nearly $28 million that will be offered next spring. To be considered for a Merit Scholarship Award, semifinalists must fulfill several requirements to advance to a finalist level of the competition. About 95% of the semifinalists are expected to attain finalist standing, and about half of the finalists will win a National Merit Scholarship, earning the Merit Scholar title. And we have James Evans here who's going to help us recognize our students as.
Yes, sir. We have representatives from Central Magnet School, Oakland High School, and Stewart's Creek High School tonight. They've all been invited, and our students are very busy. I hope they all can come, but we're going to ask you to come up front, and then afterwards, I want to get a photo out in the lobby with all of you, please. All right, so Central Magnet Schools first, and if I screw up anyone's names, I'm sorry.
We'll give you an extra snow day off, right?
Yeah. Jack Barbary. All right. Benjamin Chin. Jenny Gong. Come on up, please.
Come on up.
Angel Hugh. Nij Patel. Jacob Petty. And Ethan Wall. Great. Is that everybody from? Very good, Dr.
Could Dr. Ash come up and stand with him so he can get a picture?
He would love to do that. Come on up.
I don't know if he's able to.
Dr.
right
Ash,
now.
can you see to get up here? I know you've had your eyes dilated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oakland High School, from Oakland High School, Alexander Washington. Okay. Stewart's Creek High School, Jackie Lynn. Nope. Okay. Well, thank you all. We're extremely proud of these students for the work they've done, and we hope that you all get lots and lots of money in scholarships in the spring and go on to do great things and make us all proud.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Harrell, for being here to represent Stewart's Creek as well.
Yes, we appreciate it. We'll let them move out for their pictures. Number 9, we had at the work session, so we will continue to number 10, the calendar.
So number 10, the calendar committee met to discuss the 24-25 school year calendar. They took a survey of 4 options to the principals, and 53.7% of the votes chose option 4, which is detailed below. Teachers will only need 6 hours of professional development on their own, the full week of Thanksgiving off. Teachers returning from winter break on Monday, January 6th. Students coming back from winter break on Wednesday, January 8th. And the last school day, which would be an abbreviated day, is Friday, May 30th. And again, this is for the 24-25 school year. Recommended motion to approve the 24-25 school year calendar as presented.
Do I have any questions or comments on the new calendar? I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank you. Motion to approve and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Anyone wish to abstain? The calendar passes. Number 11, legal.
So we have several out-of-county transfer students, so we'll take one at a time. Out-of-county transfer 1, and our board members had all these emailed to them, and then also had the folders with them from the work session. Out-of-county transfer 1, the board's been requested to admit a transfer student under discipline from another school system. The student was remanded to alternative school for vaping in the classroom. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admission of any student except those in state custody when a student transfers from another school system while under suspension or expulsion. Director of Schools' recommendation in this case is to deny admission due to space. Recommended motion is motion to admit or deny the admission for this out-of-county transfer student as presented.
Do we have questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
You need to tell us which one.
Oh, I thought it was the first one.
Well,
Are we going to do it all together? Because it's all the same.
no, I mean, you need
Admit or deny?
to.
Oh, deny.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, well, that was the only recommendation, so I thought that's why we were.
Thank you. You're perfectly all right. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? Motion passes.
Number 2, out-of-county transfer student 2, the board's been requested to admit a transfer student under discipline from another school system. The student was remanded to alternative school for possession of a vape pen and marijuana. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admission of any student except those in state custody when a student transfers from another school system while under suspension or expulsion. Director of Schools' recommendation is deny admission, again due to space. Recommended motion, motion to admit or deny the admission for this out-of-county transfer student as presented.
Do we have any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to deny.
I'll entertain a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Does anyone wish to abstain? Number 3.
The board's been requested to admit a transfer student under discipline from another school system. This student was expelled for reckless endangerment. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admission of any student except those in state custody when a student transfers from another school system while under suspension or expulsion. Director of Schools' recommendation is to deny admission. Recommended motion, motion to admit or deny the admission for this out-of-county transfer student as presented.
Do I have any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Anyone wish to abstain? Thank you. Admission denied. Number 4.
The board's been requested to admit a transfer student under discipline from another school system. This student was expelled for possession of THC. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admission of any student except those in state custody when a student transfers from another school system while under suspension or expulsion. Director of Schools' recommendation is to deny admission due to space. Recommended motion is to either admit or deny the admission for this out-of-county transfer student as presented.
Do we have any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to deny. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Do I have anyone wishing to abstain? Number 5.
The board's been requested to admit a transfer student under discipline from another school system. The student was remanded for assaulting another student. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admission of any student except those in state custody when a student transfers from another school system while under suspension or expulsion. Director of Schools' recommendation is to deny admission. Recommended motion is to admit or deny the admission for this out-of-county transfer student as presented.
Do we have any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Move. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Do I have anyone wishing to abstain? Admission denied. Number 12, engineering and construction.
First, we have requests for Blackman Middle softball. Dr. Jessica Jackson is requesting to install and pour a concrete pad for the girls softball team to be utilized for a batting cage. The cost for this project is estimated to be $18,000 and to be funded from the softball program, the Richard Siegel grant, and donations from the community. Engineering Construction has reviewed the request and recommends approval. Recommended motion to approve Blackman Middle School's request to install a concrete pad for girls softball presented at no cost to the board.
Do we have any questions?
I think it's wonderful that they've been able to come up with a way to get this to where there's no cost to the board. So thank you to the booster clubs and the community who work together to make this happen for Blackman Middle School.
Very much so. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? Thank you.
Request for a walking track at Smyrna West. Jenna Stitzel is requesting to provide a walking track at Smyrna West. Funding will be $9,000 from a grant and $7,000 from Coordinated School Health. Engineering Construction is working with Coordinated School Health and the contractor to provide a track that meets this need and approves the request. Recommended motion to approve the request from Coordinated School Health to provide a walking track at Smyrna West as presented at no cost to the board.
Do we have any questions?
I have a question. How many places are left that don't have a walking track? Aren't we getting real
Most
close?
middle and high schools don't.
Most middle and the high schools don't necessarily need them because they have the tracks at the football field. So we'll be headed to the middle schools next.
But our alternative schools don't have a gym, so this is a
Yeah, they don't have any kind of, yeah.
Now, this was really pushed by Ms. Smith because they were walking around the building, and with the walking track, they can contain where the students are and have better control.
Awesome.
A good question.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? Next.
All right, next I'm going to read, and then I'll have a comment of and suggestion. So, request for engineering construction to engage Barge Cawthon for the Central Magnet Athletic Fields design. The City of Murfreesboro has notified Rutherford County Schools that Central Magnet will no longer be able to utilize city fields for our athletic teams. Engineering construction is recommending utilizing Barge Cawthon to design softball and baseball facilities for Central Magnet utilizing property at Whitworth Buchanan. Barge Cawthon was the designer of record for this campus. The requested fee for this project will be $125,000, or about 5.5% of the estimated $2.5 million construction estimate. Engineering would recommend including $25,000 for reimbursables for a total of $150,000. My recommendation is to postpone or table. I don't know the correct terminology.
Well, do you want it to have a date on it, or do you want it to be
I would like
out
to
there
come back.
floating?
No, I don't need it floating, because we at least need to figure out something.
Then we need to postpone it to a certain date.
Let me,
Amazing what you can learn at TSBA.
let's go the November 9th board meeting, because I hope to have more information. And after we have a decision on that, then I can give you some updates.
Okay. So I'm going to need a motion to postpone this until November 9th.
Move to postpone to November 9th.
So, thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Do I have anyone wishing to abstain? Thank you.
You all right if I give an update?
Yes, please.
All right, so this has been fun the last 48 hours, but it actually has been. So lots of collaboration. As you all are aware, we currently use the City of Murfreesboro's parks for our middle school softball, middle school baseball, high school softball, and high school baseball fields for Central. They have over 100 students competing in those athletics. Teams have been part of the school since it opened. So looking at kind of various options instead of building our own facility, and I really just need this to be out in the public so that people could be aware of it. And so our first suggestion was, we've looked at just about all kinds of options. So I've emailed MTSU and former Mayor Ketchern, and so to see about using MTSU's intramural fields. So he's out of town, so we'll have an update on that hopefully within the next month. But at the same time, I met with Rutherford County Recreation Department today. So we have multiple baseball and softball fields in various conditions throughout the county. Some of them deeded to the county, some of them deeded to the county school board. Realistically, they're kind of all county property. Some of them built by parents and county rec over the years. So what we are looking at right now is kind of a multitude of options. So there is a field at Las Casas Elementary School that is in pretty good shape. There are fields as part of the Las Casas Community Center. They're not owned by us, but the one at the county school is. There's a field at Walter Hill Elementary School that is pretty much in disrepair right now. They are building one of the county public health and safety buildings, so the fence has been torn down. They've kind of, without us knowing, run sewer and water across the field. So that field needs some help, but it is definitely regulation baseball size. There are 2 fields at Buchanan Elementary School. One of them probably for baseball, one of them could be for softball. They have some drainage issues that we would need to take care of and new lights. There are 2 fields at Christiana Elementary School. One of those is the middle school softball field. Another one has been used by County Rec and kind of another entity over the years, but it is technically our county property. It would need some work, but it is outlined as a baseball field. We have a backstop at Barfield. We have some type of field in front of Rockville Elementary that I just hope nobody hits a home run, because we'll be in the new addition if they hit a home run. But all that to say, we have lots of options. There's going to be some discussion. I've asked to be put on the agenda for the Rutherford County Recreation Board's board meeting next Thursday at 5 o'clock. There's some ways that we can partner with each other and hopefully be able to increase the partnership we have for students in the community, while also trying to get the needs we need for our program. So that's kind of the direction that we're going now. I don't know which fields it'll be, which fields are in the best shape. I imagine there's going to be some conversation about County Rec wanting some of our land to do things with as well as part of that. So all that will come before the board before we make any decisions. But things are trending in the right direction. I'm sure it'll still have a cost to renovate, but instead of building our own facilities, ultimately, I just want to make sure that the kids have somewhere to be. 'Cause I don't know that we've ever removed programs. I don't think that'd be a good way for us to go.
No.
So.
No.
I agree.
Boy, we really appreciate, I know that you spent 48 hours of not sleeping trying to find.
I will say
baseball
that this type of stuff is what I thought this job was gonna be. Some of the other stuff, not so much. So this was kind of what I thought, but moving in the right direction.
So we will postpone this until November 9th. Do you have something, Ms. Sharp?
So if someone in the community wants to help with property that they may not be using, that they can't build on or something like that, they need to talk to Dr. Sullivan.
Yeah, be happy to.
If there are some solutions in the community that someone wants to be a part of, somebody wants to sponsor a field, you know, like Smyrna Ready Mix or something like that.
Yes.
Call Dr. Sullivan.
Happy to.
I just have a clarification sake. So, question. So you're meeting next Thursday at 5 p.m. with who?
The Rutherford County, it's actually the Rutherford County Conservation Board. The Rutherford County Conservation Board runs Rutherford County Recreation. They all are still underneath Rutherford County government. And so that's why, if it were, and it would cost funds, it would be a good way to show effort of good faith of both of entities working together.
Great, that's wonderful. That's good news.
Mr. Tidwell.
If we were to do a middle school, like Christian or something like that, the cost to renovate would obviously be way less.
Way less,
But as far as the overlapping schedules, I'm not sure. You know more about middle school baseball, high school baseball, how's that work?
So it would be very difficult for us to utilize a current facility just because unless it's a high school, our facilities don't have lights. Baseball and softball season starts February 1st. And so our teams struggle to even get any practice teams at their school. High schools are a little different, but they have freshman and JV teams. So utilizing a current facility is probably not realistic, but Christiana Middle actually has 2 fields. They actually have 3 fields. They have a baseball facility that's on 231. They have a softball field that is directly behind the school. And then there's another backstop/field behind the other field behind the school. So the one in the furthest back part would be the one that we would have to look at renovating because the middle schools have the other fields. Great question.
Anyone else?
I've also been on Google Earth and looked for every bitty part of land that had any shape of a diamond, and I found all kinds of things.
Rabbit hole for sure.
Yes.
So this motion will be postponed. Number 13, insurance update.
Well, we had that on Tuesday, and so open enrollment is still going on.
And let me also say that I mentioned a letter going to post-65 retirees, which Dr. Anthony and Suzette Couples took care of. I got my letter asking me, did I still want insurance? And I told him I did. Number 14, financial report.
Yeah, financial report. Mr. Runyon right now is at the county commission meeting, so we are, even though the board approved it in September, the only thing we have before them tonight is to reallocate those funds from 177 from last year that was over $13 million that was allocated, but the end of the school year ended on June 30th, and now we had to go back and allocate them again. So hopefully that'll be a smooth request, but financial update, we will have the major financial monthly report at our next board meeting once payroll runs again.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Director's update.
Yeah, we had Project Basic here on Tuesday night. There is no motion or vote needed on this. I've mentioned this, there's been some discussion. So I reached out to one of our representatives today and just said, we would really, from a local school system, at least from my perspective, we have funding that is sent down from the General Assembly for mental health, and then there's some discussion around what is the school system's place with mental health. And so really ask for just some ongoing conversation and guidance around that. I'll tell you from my perspective, I don't think anyone's interested whatsoever in ever taking the place of a parent. What we're interested in is we are not, as educators or school counselors, we don't have mental health providers hired in our district. And so there are students who need mental health providers. Project Basic is not a mental health provider, but there are different areas that we could use that, and there are funds and grants available. And so those are conversations and kind of what we're looking like. I also mentioned I'm not necessarily interested in something that is whole class, whole group instruction with a curriculum that we haven't seen. If there was anything from a curriculum standpoint, all curriculum has to be approved by the board. So, we appreciate the work that people do, but our people are creating lesson plans that doesn't necessarily work for us as a county entity. So just kind of know that's where my stance is. It would have to be a vetted curriculum before the board. We had one a couple, maybe 16 months ago that involved our bullying curriculum that the board got to see for months in advance beforehand and then voted on it at that point. And that would be the avenue that we take. Outside of that, I'll go ahead and move into open positions if you're all right with that.
Oh, you don't have anything, right?
Well, yeah, we can come back to it just since I'm talking.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
You're the
Open
director.
positions are still in great shape, a little bit over 20, so we've been that's probably where we're going to sit, just because of the natural transition between employees on a day in and day out basis. For 3,000 something certified teachers to have 20 openings at this point, and again, you'll see most of them are in special education, and then still in some of our elementary schools where we didn't used to see. In our classified openings, you're still going to see most of them being either those cafeteria monitors or a ton of them in special education. And so I think that's to be expected. That's a harder position. It's also one that is compensated differently. And so appreciate our principals, our HR team, and the work that they do on that. That's all that I have.
That's all you have? Did you have anything, Ms. Rosales, you didn't have anything to add?
I was going to say something really fast. So I got questions about this. So if you've been listening to the news, there's a lot of news circulating around the General Assembly looking into the federal funds and seeing what the impact will be of the state stepping in and funding that. As what I am aware and my understanding currently, what is happening is that they are using a committee of some sort to look into that and research that. That's my understanding of where it's at. They're looking into it and doing research at this point. So I'm bringing this up because I did get a question about it, so I thought it'd be best to just address it and say what I understand what is happening.
Thank you. Mr. Tidwell?
I had a question about open positions. Where were we at last year, this time?
I'll find, but I'm sure it was in the hundreds.
Oh, yeah, much.
Yeah, it was
So substantially better. We're
substantial.
still,
Yeah, substantial. And I'll also add, so the only questions we've had about federal funds so far has been, we have a lot of our Title I schools have Title I interventionists. They've been worried about their position, so that's the only questions we've received so far is if this happens, what happens to my position? And we've reiterated that this is just looking at it. It's outside of our control, and supposedly it would be supplemented by the state government, so nobody's position should be in jeopardy.
Well, thank you for letting me know, and I'll address that.
General discussion.
I've got one
Ms.
today.
Sharp?
I'm sorry.
Well, go ahead.
Anybody else?
Ms. Sharp?
Want me to jump out?
No, you're good.
I went to the charter school groundbreaking and had a few minutes with Governor Lee today. And so I spoke to him about how overcrowded and at capacity our buildings were and that we needed some help, and that last year, because of COVID, we did not receive the fastest growing county funds. So hopefully he's going to circle back around, and we're going to have some discussions about that, because I think there's some, as good a shape financially as our state is in, they need to give some of the fastest growing counties some money, some land, or something, so that our taxpayers don't have to bear the brunt of the growth that this county is experiencing.
Good.
So
We need
I'll have
that.
a discussion with him.
Anyone else?
No.
Yes. Mr.
Do you have any updates on property or anything with that?
There was a piece of property that Vice Chair Wilson asked me about. I've got the address.
Okay, great.
He asked me today at the groundbreaking, so I think some people had already heard of
Yeah,
it.
it was in an email that had
Yeah.
both of them listed.
Okay.
Was there anything else? Any other updates on property, Mr. Reed?
There are no updates. The board needs to think about what it thought of the property we looked at, and if there's any interest of the board moving forward with it. We need to get some comments back from board members on that.
Do that for the next board meeting.
Mr. Tidwell?
Mr. Reed, what about an update on the building over there on Church Street?
We've closed on the property, that we were able to get all the tenants out. So it's our property now, and it's the hands of the school system to start their remodeling work. So the engineers and contractors have looked at it, and all that's underway.
So I'll give you an update. So we had it originally on the board to vote on, so we've had some discussion around architects. So architects, without going too far down a rabbit hole, architects have an RFQ that they're supposed to complete. RFQ, the last time we did it was, before I was in this role, do you know when it was?
2021.
So 2021, they are a professional service, and so it was my understanding that because they're a professional service, we could do whatever we needed with a professional service, because that's something that doesn't have to be bid out. But an architect has to have an RFQ that's in Tennessee Code annotated. So a little bit misleading information. So we're in the middle of redoing an RFQ to see who's interested. And so right now, the only architect that we could currently work with is our one that is, who is it?
We have two. We have Klein Sweeney, and
Yes.
we have Godwin Mills and Kaywood.
And Klein Sweeney has told us that they are multiple months behind in submitting any projects and are not interested. And so we have one option right now, but we are submitting an RFQ as well. We talked about it, and I requested not to have it on the agenda this time to see how long the RFQ process would take and how long that would delay us in opening. Right now, I don't see a way that this thing is going to open this school year. It's far behind. We're going to get stuck with City of Murfreesboro permitting. We're going to get stuck with turning a facility into one that has kids. Apparently, it requires a whole lot more from the fire marshal. So that's kind of where we are, and happy to discuss it as well.
So you're, based on what you just said, you're thinking that we may be open in a year from now?
Oh, no, by August of next year for sure. I envision us being ready to go in the spring, but by the time March gets here, does it make a lot of sense to move kids over there right in the middle of testing? From a logistics standpoint, we have to apply for a state number from the State Department of Education, wait for them to go to a State Board of Education meeting 2 times to approve it. It's just a lengthier process than I had envisioned or hoped. Or if we run into a miracle and we can get the building ready real quick, we can open it as an annex of Daniel McKee, and then we can move quicker.
Oh, nice.
So
So definitely aiming and shooting for August of 2020.
absolutely, yes.
Good.
Thank you for the update.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, I have one more thing. So I know we were getting some updates on enrollment in August, and I'm just curious to see where we're at now, 2 months in the school year.
I got it today, so I'll send it to the whole board. I just haven't looked at the staffing report. It was done yesterday, actually, Dr. Chastain, the staffing report. It was yesterday or today.
Great.
I just noticed it's in my folder and I haven't looked at it.
All right, well, thank you.
I'll send it to everybody.
Anyone else?
One more question.
Two.
Bad lunch debt. I know that was a topic.
Oh, my goodness. There's some good news on that, on bad lunch debt. You want to say that, Mark?
Well, there's good and bad news. The bad news is the lunch debt is well over $200,000. And I don't know that it's good news, but it's news. The number of students who filled out our free and reduced lunch forms, we are well over 50%. I told you all that I wasn't sure the numbers were accurate. We wanted to run it again, and it actually went up when we ran it again. So great job by people filling out the forms, but I also don't want to celebrate that more people are in poverty.
Well, yeah,
So it's a
I know, I understand that, but I
weird
think
way
it
of
was
saying it. Yeah, but
the whole
you guys did a
thing
great
that,
job.
looking at how much it was costing the district, that there is potential of savings now that we are getting people fulfilling that form.
And we appreciate what you did, because we know that that interpretation that you had helped us to get this, and it's very important. I know we don't want to celebrate poverty, but we also want to take care
No,
of
we're
our
not
children.
celebrating that. We're
Right.
just,
We
that
just
we're
wanna take
saving
care,
money
right.
that was going to cost us almost $1 million.
We just want to take care of our
Yes.
children.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the best way that we know.
Absolutely,
I think that-
yes.
I think that's wonderful.
And everyone that helped and came to translate was all volunteers. And now they're in a rotation and they're willing to volunteer to translate, and we're getting ready to use them again. for the October 24th meeting for the parent and teacher. I'm going to start, I know Arabic is our second language that's most spoken, and that's an area that I have not worked on as much, and I'm going to start working and recruiting Arabic translators to work as translators, so.
So it's at 51%, which is an increase of over 10% from this date in 2022. The only thing I would caution, so something that does concern me as you talk to local representatives, if the state were to look at not taking federal funds, with us having that much of an increase, we would want this year's number to count, because that would be millions upon millions of dollars that we would receive extra, and millions of dollars.
Anyone else on general discussion? Ms. Darby?
Can I do it?
Go, girl.
Move to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
We are adjourned.